The one thing that comes out of this is that you realize no matter the animosity, the petty nature of battles or rivalries in the NBA or other professional sports or college sports or any sports, there is a brotherhood when something like that happens. And the Cavaliers coming over to Gordon Hayward, LeBron James sitting with Gordon Hayward as he gets loaded onto the stretcher. The first thing that LeBron talked about after the game was Gordon Hayward. That is one of those things where in an instant, a guy's season's taken away, and who knows about his career. I obviously, the morning after an injury like that, don't want to say Gordon Hayward's never going to be right again. But an ankle injury where you are dependent on your mobility and your spring and your cutting, when you rupture it that badly, there are guys that don't come back from it like they were before. People compared it to Joe Theismann's injury. Joe Theismann never played again. Now, Joe Theismann was obviously later into his career and was playing a physical sport, so it is different. But there are guys, think about Marcus Lattimore. Marcus Lattimore blows out his knee 3 different ways. His leg is dangling there like a sock puppet, and he never plays football again. Obviously, you don't want to go that far, but this is all the types of things that you think about. In an instant, everything changes. In an instant, everything changes. So for the Celtics, how do they cope? Well, number one, you have Brad Stevens, who there's not going to be anybody on that team that is more emotionally affected outside of Gordon Hayward than Brad Stevens because of their bond going back to college. And Brad Stevens is easily one of the best coaches in all of basketball. And you could see how they fought last night, being down 16 points and still made it a game late. Pretty amazing that the Celtics had even that resiliency to keep fighting back because, boy, you couldn't blame them at all if they lost by 35 points last night. So Brad Stevens absolutely helps. From a basketball standpoint, not an emotional standpoint, this means Kyrie Irving has to do way more. And Kyrie Irving, the last time he had to do way more, that team missed the playoffs, and that was in Cleveland. Now, he's a different player today than he was. But this is almost like you wanted it, you got it, Kyrie. You wanted to be outside of the shadow of LeBron. You wanted it to be your team. You wanted to spread your wings. You kept talking about needing to push yourself basketball-wise. Well, you got it. Because they traded away Isaiah Thomas, and they made you that point guard, and now you've lost your second-best scorer on your team, Gordon Hayward, for the entire season. And so your second-best scorer is you. Your third-best scorer is you. Your fourth-best scorer is you. Now, let's see what Kyrie has. Kyrie wanted this baton. He wanted this role, and now he's got it. The guys after the game, I was kind of shocked. The TNT guys, Kenny, Charles, Shaq, all said to a man, well, they won't win a championship now. And it was obviously going to be tough even with Gordon Hayward. But how hard is it on opening night to be able to say with certainty, no, you can't win a championship now? You never know what happens. The Celtics have to play 81 more games. My guess is they'll make the playoffs, and who knows what happens on the other side of the ledger, what happens with the chemistry of the Cavaliers, what happens in the rest of the East. I mean, you never know. But, I mean, that's the type of shock that happened last night for everybody within that Boston organization and how everything changes when you snap your fingers. They go from a championship contender to everybody saying, well, now they can't win a championship within the first 5 minutes of that season. And I don't care if you hate the Celtics or not, man. You can't help but feel for Gordon Hayward because that was just so ugly. It leaves you with a pit in your stomach. I mean, it's wincing. It's wince-inducing just to hear the play-by-play call, let alone when you saw it.